Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have ourselves what I've been promising for a while, which is my One Piece collection. So I managed to get these binders off of Temu, or Timu. I know people pronounce it differently, but I figured I would literally show you these. Now this holds 1,024 cards, so it's pretty handy. It seems to fit roughly 6 sets of One Piece cards in there. Wild Snorlax has appeared. But yeah, so I would just take you through literally all the cards. So some cards in sets actually recognize the dons that come in, others don't. But obviously for the layout, and this is the reason why I did it this way, is just so that I can try and catch each card as we go without too much glare. But yeah, as you can see, each page holds 16 cards, which is lovely. But yeah, I enjoyed these folders, so I've literally stocked up on them just specifically for that. But yeah, that is that for that one. But as you can see, there's a lot of beautiful cards. Obviously, you can slow the video down to see specific artworks. If there's particular cards I like, I will zoom in on them. But yeah, for all my efforts, I've yet to pull from all these sets an alternate leader card. I've got multiple leader cards, just the same ones. So yeah, leader cards seem to be a challenge to actually get the alternate artwork. So, as you can see, this is all set 1. And then as I've noticed, each set has, around 120-ish cards. Some sets it's a little less than that, but it's around 120 to kind of 118. But yeah, see, leader cards again. Never get the alternate. But the layout I chose to go with is at the end of every single folder, or every single set you'll see in a minute. I made space in the folder to put all of the artwork. But I think they've done that pose with Butter quite a few times. So as you can see, Miss All Sunday. Just going back from it. I did notice that each set does seem to have somewhat of a theme of where they're getting characters from, where they're choosing the art from. Like the latest set, One Piece 14, seems to have a lot of vibes to do with earlier, like pre-skip, pre-time skip. So yeah, it's kind of subtle, but it's in there. Like you can see, a lot of this One Piece 1 has to do with what's it called, Wano. As you can see, obviously Queen, King, and then you can see Black Maria, page 1, obviously, all, like I say, the main villains that they went up against, and then a lot of the moves and stuff that was taken. But yeah, and then at the end of each set, there's 2 set cards that also belong, as you can see. And then as you can see, what I've done at the end of the folders, I've then made space for all the alternate artworks, or earlier sets they call them parallel, but yeah. So these pages I will just skip over unless I actually have the cards. So you can see One Piece 1 I'm doing pretty bad. This is set 2, as you can see again with alternate leader cards. But yeah, quite a nice collection. But I just figured I hadn't done really a show off of all the different artworks from the different characters, and then you can see a lot of this is based around the One Piece movie Red, I believe it was. So you can see, like I said, different artworks, different characters, Frankie, all of them dressed up in their costumes from that one. Sorry if you get a bit motion sickness, I know I'm moving the camera a lot. Probably a fixed position might have worked a bit better for this video, but again, I was just more caution of glare coming off of the light. But like I said, a lot of lovely cards. The thing I did find that throughout a lot of sets, they do like to, considering how vast the characters are in One Piece, they do like to repeat a lot of characters. I know some are more popular than others, but it is a case of a bit overuse in my opinion, for certain characters that appear on a repeated basis. And it's almost like you're just buying the card again just to get an alternate background. Like one thing that I did notice with the Smoker Leader card, the amount of times where he, even though he just switched with the body once during like a very short time period, there are so many cards of him in the wrong body with Tagishi there. And the body swap moment. And they must have redone that card like 6-7 times, different sets. And yeah. So as you can see, that is one that I have an alternate artwork. So you'll see the difference in it at the end of the set here. So as you can see, you just come into the end of One Piece 2. And you can see the beautiful set cards. That's quite a nice full art, even though it's just part of the normal set. And then in here, I did manage to get myself the alternate art card for Toki. Very nice card. And there is the, Rosinate. But they're the only two alternate arts I have from One Piece. So, two. So you'll see that as I go through, I got a little bit better at collecting the alternate artworks. But considering how cheap the cards are to find, not many people are selling them. That's the big problem, chasing this. But no, definitely let me know down in the comments what your favourite character is, what your favourite arc is, who's your favourite Straw Hat. That card took forever to find. So basically, One Piece 3 is where I started chasing One Piece cards. I essentially got given a bundle of cards, sorted them out, and there was 2 cards that were lacking. Usopp, which I just showed you there, that I actually ordered on eBay. It went missing, never arrived. Had to order another one. And then at the end of the set, there was Big Mum, that for some reason no one was selling. Absolutely anywhere. So I do like these folders. It does definitely look lovely seeing all the cards laid out. I have got a pre-event coming up for One Piece 14 that I'll be going to, and that revolves around me having to learn how to play the game, because ironically I collect all these cards but I don't actually play the card game. And that was the second one that just genuinely no one seemed to have for offer, was Lin Nin. And the alternate artwork of her was everywhere, but the common version was nowhere to be found. So yeah. And then the 2 set cards from this set, obviously, were very beautiful. I like the cartoon style of Sniper King there. So this set, I did manage to get a few alternate arts that were quite beautiful. So you have the Usopp from the original card that I couldn't find. Spadam, which, like I said, that expression is hilarious. But yeah, again, that set only got 2 cards. That is a beautiful Don card, as well as you've got these. So this set had 3 different Dons to start the set off. When we see each other again, you have Nami. Sorry, Vivi, not Nami. But yeah, this set had a lot of beautiful artwork from the Alabaster. Love that one. That's beautiful, with the little cobra hiding in the background watching Vivi. Just always letting her be safe, but in a nice environment. And then obviously you got that scene from, when Nami was charging everyone for a sneak peek. You got Sugar. You got the manliest man, Senior Pink. That's one thing I do love, is that they pay tribute to a lot of like minor episodes. It might only be one episode a character appears in, but they make a point of bringing them to life in the card game. They still pay homage to them, which is quite cool. So yeah, like I said, there's a couple of characters throughout the set where I don't know whether the card itself does anything inside, because as you can see, it doesn't actually have any play value, unlike some of these other ones. So it's just like the default. But it's still nice that they pay homage to these characters, that they were created. They're not forgotten about. But yeah, what I might do, just because obviously this video will go on for a minute, because each folder basically contains 6 waves of cards plus EB1, and then volume 2, the folder 2 has EB2, and then another 6 waves to get me to 12. Because of how many cards the sets actually grew, One Piece 12 actually expanded over to 2 folders. Love some of these cards, because even the normal like reverses and SR cards, the artwork is gorgeous, and that's what I like about the One Piece. It's not so much of a chase to try and get every single super rare card, because a lot of the time the artwork is already in a common or a rare. It's just the fact the background of the card, like manga rares for example, a lot of the parallel versions of mangas have the exact same design. It's just the background that changes. So yeah. And then in this set you had obviously Rosinate and a lovely Vivi. So yeah, in One Piece 3, this was 4. I don't think, oh, I got Sugar. Look at that. When Usopp scared the crap out of her. That was funny. But yeah, look at the amount of alternate arts. Like, yeah, One Piece 4 was my worst set because I didn't get hold of much of it. Mainly at that point I was buying bulk off eBay, and there just wasn't really a bundle of One Piece 4. So, like I say, I managed to more or less get the set, like the base set, but finding alternate arts, yeah. This year might be my focus to try and chase into this. But, yeah. And each set there is connecting cards. I've spoken about this in previous videos, that certain cards will pair up with each other. It happens in every single wave, but annoyingly with the way they lay the cards out with the numbers, they're never usually next to each other. So you usually have to see the connection, but you can't really put the cards together, if that makes sense. And this is a common theme throughout, is they do these little cartoon hand-drawn cards of certain characters in different waves, which is quite cute. But it's not that consistent, but it is nice. So I hope this year to cut it down. I mean, I'm missing 486 what I consider rare cards, but mangas, unless I pull them myself, I don't think I'll be able to ever get my hand on a lot of those, like even becoming a millionaire. It's just a lot of money to spend on cardboard. But yeah, these are the beautiful artworks. Because this set has some gorgeous alternate arts for Rebecca. That one has a lovely one in the field. So yeah, here's some of the other characters that you've got. Rob Lucio, or Lucio. And then you have... Do I have these on the same page? So here's an example of the connecting artwork, like I said. So card number, what is it, 103 actually goes in with 111, and you can tell this because they're in the background of each other. So if I get that card next to that one, you can see that that one is there performing his, and he's obviously in that one based on that. And that's the way that, like I said, they're just subtle hints that you can tell they're from the same scene. But yeah, the two sets, I keep focusing on the sets because they're beautiful from that set. And as you can see at the end of this one, I managed to get an alternate Sabo, an alternate Rosinate, and then it's still a whole page of blank. So yeah, this is into One Piece 5. Oh, sorry, it's One Piece 6. That's how quick I'm going. I try not to make this a long video, but it looks like it's going to be almost 20 minutes by the time it's finished. So yeah, as you can see, a lot to be seen. That's what I should have been doing from the start. So some beautiful art cards. I'll be interested to see him in an actual battle. His behaviour after Wano was an absolute disgrace, but I'm glad Shanks took a day dealing with him. But it'll be interesting to see him in future arcs to see who he'd actually clash up with. So I'm sure Zoro could cut him down to size. So yeah, this set has a lot of Vin Smoke, from Sora to Ninja, all the characters, and a lot of them with and without their power suits. That card actually confused me because I believe I have the alternate artwork and it was actually the common I needed, and so I'd ended up ordering one, and then when it showed up I was like, oh, it's not that one that I need. And there's that cartoon card style again, as you can see. You got Brooke there, and then you got Perona. Some lovely artworks of her. You got Lola. And this is the thing of like I said, there are just certain scenes and events that I just love they capture. And they're just beautiful. So yeah, this is almost coming to the end of the folder. And these are the two main stars of the set cards at the end of that set for One Piece 6. So One Piece 6, did I get... No. I have no alternates from One Piece 6. And then starting with EB01. So the EB series actually has 60 cards compared to the 120. So it literally splits it in set in half. So there's a lot less to go after, thankfully. But they do seem to be more expensive to find when you get the alternate artworks and things like that. Maybe there's a smaller print, I'm not sure. But yeah. So this is EB01. The only sets I didn't chase was One Piece Volume, The Best Volume 1 and the thing PRB01 and PRB02. Just because there was reprints in the set. There were basically like alternate shiny ones. I mean, look at Little Laboon. This one I like to think they connect just because you have Brook stood there. And then you have him stood in the background of the picture. It is lovely to see. I want to live. Another very powerful statement from the show. And then, yeah, you have the, Bon Clay. Now, the alternate version of him dressed as Nami is a really expensive card to get. But he is the only set card from EB01. So, that is quite cool. And then, yeah, these are just at the end of the folder because I had spaces. These are some of the extra cards. So, this one, for example, came from EB. Even though I said I wasn't collecting it. I love that artwork. You had the promo there. Lovely Luffy stood there with Sabo and Ace in the background. You've then got these promos. So these are the only 3 Japanese cards I actually have. They came as part of a promotion in Japan at 7-Elevens. So you had to go and get a hot food, a snack or whatever, and then you could go and actually pick one of the 3s, and someone was selling them on eBay, so I grabbed them. I have since seen the artwork release in English, but Luffy is like 80 quid, I think, so I'm just like, no. So that's the end of folder 1. But what I might do is just do a flick through now that I've realised. Getting better every day. So there's page, and this one I'm trying not to think. So yeah, we'll go back over. Just one thing of just showing it zoomed out. That way people that like the cards can always pause the video and zoom in. But hopefully this has interested a few people and you've been able to see the cards in all their glare. I mean, that again, try to show you the connecting artwork of every set. I will try. So you can see in set 1, you have these 2 guys and you can tell they pair because the logo in the background. Some sets seem to have multiple that do this, but I will try and remember every set as I go just to show you the hidden connecting artworks. So as far as I was aware, that's the only one in One Piece 1. As you can see, One Piece 1, I got no alternate art. And then it's just remembering which sets. This one, it was this card here. Connects with this one here. And you can see, because the 3 brothers are there in the background. So you can see that them 2 actually pair together. So that is quite a cool moment. Is there any other sets? Now you got me challenged to look out as I go to make sure I don't miss these connecting artworks. But yeah, if you stayed in the video this long, please do like, comment, subscribe. I've just hit the big milestone of 250 subscribers. Quarter of the way where I want to be. Trying to get myself up to 1,000. If I could hit that this year, that would be phenomenal. But yeah, slow and steady wins the race. So far so good. So far so good. I don't think I've missed a connecting artwork just yet. Just trying to see the cards so that when I remember which ones pair with what. because one of these sets, it might be this one, it's actually Sanji that pairs up with a different colour, because usually the hint is they're the same colour cards, but one of these sets they're not. So as far as I know, One Piece 3 I think is the set that I never saw any connecting artwork, but let me know down in the comments if you saw one that does pair together. I believe it is One Piece 4, because I love that card, even though it's just a common. Look how nice that is. That's that one. So we go into One Piece 4 now. So yeah, here we go. So you have Sanji down here, and he connects up with... Try and make sure I get the video. He connects up with... Where is it? As you can see, it's a different colour. Where is he? There he is. So he collects up with Mr. 2. And you can literally see their legs collide from when they fight in Alabasta when they first meet. So you can see, boom. And that's a beautiful connecting artwork. So, but yeah, it's one of the few times where it's actually hard to tell because the colours don't match up. So you've got to have eyes on your prize, otherwise you'd miss that one. So we did go over the pages there. And this is One Piece 4. Because one of the sets, but I think it's part of the later sets, there are like, I think 2, possibly 3 connecting artworks. That's also a very random one to have within the set, just as a common like SR. The art style of that card, it is beautiful. But yeah, again, just trying to keep an eye out for the connecting artworks. Just to see what's in One Piece 5. As far as connecting artworks. Because sometimes they're just subtle. There you go. This one, they're not that far apart. They're literally a space apart. But the connecting-ish, if you call it that, is in the background of Sanji. You see Zoro protecting Otama. And then in the background there, you've got Sanji with obviously the point of view from Zoro. So that is what is in One Piece 5. Because as far as like I said, some cards line up, some cards just point. And then these were the other ones that I showed you before, where they're in the background. Again, it's not necessarily a connecting artwork, but it's that kind of connection that the artwork works together. So, moving into One Piece 6. Is there a connecting artwork? So as far as I know, it's only One Piece 3. And I've tried studying and seeing where I'm missing. I just don't think they did one that connected. But One Piece 6. Don't want to disappoint. Just trying to catch. Oh, this one is the one. I know what the set is. Is it this one? This one had the... No, it must be One Piece 7, I think, that had the easy to tell one. Because one of them that started all this off for me, it was so obvious the cards went together. So it might be One Piece 6 as well. Like I said, I'm trying not to disappoint, but I just can't see it. I don't think, from what I've seen, there is. So there you go, One Piece 3, One Piece 6. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen a connecting artwork, because I can't see it for now. An EB1, I don't believe had connecting artwork, but I will flick through again just to be adamant. Look how nice that Vivi card is from when she's pretending to be Miss Wednesday. But I think that's it. I've basically showed the little hint of that Brooke is in the background, but I don't think that's really a connecting artwork. So yeah, join me in the next video. This is part 1 of potentially 3, because I'm up to 3 folders used so far in the collection. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all the support, guys, and happy 2026.